Dave, how's it going?
Not too bad.
How's the world of Cynthia these days? Working hard?
Scythia, yes, we are working hard. We just rolled into town last Sunday, played our final show of the tour, which was in our hometown of Vancouver. And now we're meeting tonight, sitting around the table and figuring out how we're going to record our next album and when our next tour is.
So right now you guys are looking into making a new album.
That's right.
Let's say for the album of War, how long did it take you to write that album?
The writing of War was mainly over 6 months, but prior to that, a lot of the ideas had been stirring for up to 3 years. And the next album is called Of Exile, so we're kind of keeping with a common theme, and it's gonna sort of be like a chronicle, like of war, but it's gonna be a lot of different style of composition in there, and it's gonna be a completely different story unto itself.
In the beginning of this, where do you guys get the idea of to create like medieval folk metal?
It's always something that I personally have been very interested in. And so in finding other musicians, I really wanted to find people who had a similar taste of fantasy and folklore. And so coming into this project, basically everybody involved had a similar love for fantasy, for medieval, for Renaissance, and folk elements. And at the same time, everybody did have an extensive background in heavy metal.
How many bands in the world would you say do this style of medieval, Renaissance, folk metal? Would it be
in
like
the world? Well,
yeah?
In Europe right now, I think it's quite a popular trend. To give an exact number, I couldn't tell you, but I know there's a lot of folk metal bands coming out of Europe, such as Eluvite, Tyr, Ailstorm, Fintroll, Corpaclani, Einsaferum, Winter Sun. Those are just a few sort of the big bands that tour internationally. However, in Canada and North America, there don't seem to be the same number of folk metal acts. I can only think of one folk metal band that's touring out of Montreal, and that's Blackguard. Aside from that, no one else that I've come across is really pushing the folk metal in North America.
To keep fresh in the ideas, what do you listen to in music to grab some attention to what you're gonna do next?
I find most of my inspiration actually comes from listening to folk music, whether it be Celtic or medieval folk music. I'll listen to some Steel Eye Span, or I'll listen to just solo mandolin players on YouTube. And in addition to that, sometimes I'll listen to Richie Blackmore's Blackmore Nights, just different just folk acts to kind of get that stirring. I've listened to metal for a long, long time, probably 20 years now, and so a lot of that is in a way taken care of. A lot of what goes on in metal these days, I think is pretty cool. It just seems to be a lot of bands really kind of pushing the envelope technically, but we're sort of moving in a different direction. We definitely have a few flashy moments there, but most of the music is centered around storytelling as opposed to being extreme metal.
And how far has this tour gone that you've been playing?
The tour we did went all the way up to Quebec City and back, and it was a total of 12,500 kilometers.
Are you going to tour Europe anytime soon?
I hope so. We've been talking about it for a while, and once this next album is out, that's when we're going to really be doing the push to bring Scythia international.
Now, where do you guys record this album?
The first album of War was recorded entirely in Vancouver.
Okay.
We recorded at the Armory Studios, and we had the mastering done at the Armory. The rest of the recording took place with our producer, Sean Thingold, but it was sort of more at unconventional locations. We found a large open area to record the piano and rhythm guitars at actually the local university, and the rest of it was actually done in my living room with different forms of baffling and sort of sound reduction set up.
Do you find today is quite easier to record than, let's say, if you did this 10 years ago in this style?
Definitely. A lot of the major A studios weren't available 10 years ago. They were usually booked up with label artists, but of course with the sort of the shift in the music industry, a lot of these A studios, are finding themselves more open, and they're definitely more available for independent artists to come in and record there.
So when are we gonna see this new album, you figure? How many months?
August of 2011 is when we're shooting for.
You guys got any promo videos lined up, for the Of War album?
For the Of War album, we just have sort of our tour blogs. We have a short mini-series that will be coming out in the next little while, chronicling the tale of one of the characters present on the album called the Red Wizard. So I'm not going to release too much information about this mini-series, except that people should try to keep in touch with the Scythia video logs via Facebook or YouTube over the next few months, because I think this one character that we've been chronicling does a lot of advertising for the Of War record, and it sort of it tells a story unto itself that is both kind of humorous and fun.
And Dave, to finish off, you might as well introduce the band online, like on this interview, to see who's who.
Absolutely. So the band consists of 6 people. We have Celine Derval is the drummer slash female vocals, so she does a lot of the backing vocal harmonies. We have Morgan Zentner, who plays the oboe of death, which has sort of been a novelty instrument of recent, as not many other metal bands use an oboe. We have Terry Savage on backing vocals and bass. We have Nick Golar on guitar. We have Scott Thompson on keyboards, and we have myself on lead vocal and guitar.
Well, Dave, been a pleasure. Look forward to seeing the new Scythia stuff coming out in the future.
Cool. Thanks, Jason.
All right, you have a good night.
Same to you. Take care.